You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and today we have another show lined up for y'all. We're going to talk to our guest today, Rene DeBellis, and her book that you all really need to read. Is very inspirational. It's touching. It's important for you to read, especially if you're into music. It'll really be something that you really appreciate. It's the music we make. And the one and only Rene DeBellis, she gifted me the book, and I want to say thank you for that. That definitely was a nice gift. And first and foremost, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Kind of give the audience the original inspiration. What caused you want to write this story and write this book, I should say?
Well, it was my life goal to write a novel. And the original inspiration came from a song that my husband wrote when his mother died suddenly. And he would sit down at the piano and play the most beautiful music I'd ever heard. And he played it for many years. And at one point during that time, I was in a very difficult car accident. And as I was recovering from many, many surgeries and a prescription for opiate after prescription, I began to imagine the story of a young man who lost his mother in an accident that he survived, became addicted to opiates, and then heard the music that my husband was playing from the other side, from his mother who had passed. And the song in the story is symbolic of his journey in becoming the musician he always intended to be, and also overcoming his grief and his addiction.
And being an author, this book has received awards and tons of reviews. I mean, I think a lot of music lovers just really appreciate the creativity that you put into this book. It's almost like you hear the notes or hear the music in the background or something. But what has been your favorite part of the process as far as getting feedback from readers?
It has been so incredible to get feedback from readers, primarily because while I was writing, I always had this tremendous connection to the readers that I was imagining. It was sort of like I would read through something and say, is this what I'm trying to say? Is this what I'm trying to say? How do I want readers to feel? What do I want them to experience when they read this passage or when they get through this chapter? And I was always trying to connect to that feeling and feeling like I was. And so as I'm getting the feedback and I'm hearing what people are saying, they're saying exactly what I was wanting them to process. They're feeling the feelings that I was intending for them to feel. And that is that human connection is the most important thing when it comes to overcoming grief, when it comes to overcoming addiction. That grief is a process that we have to face, that it's a difficult and challenging thing, but it's something we all come to because death is a part of life. And how a story like this and how a song like this, the song that this book is based on, Bird of Paradise by Rene DeBellis, is the sort of art that gets us through the challenges like grief and addiction. And I love that everyone, like you just said, can feel the music. They can feel the rhythm of the prose and how lyrical it is, because it was an incredible goal of mine that be the case.
Yeah, as a creative person yourself and your husband who played the piano is a great combination, because he inspired with his piano, but you as a writer, you both are taking something that did not exist and you bring it to life. So when you were in the process of writing, what was that process like? Were you just writing things as they were coming? How did you break down formatting this book?
I would write it as it came, and then I would rewrite it. I rewrote the book 7 times. I wanted to make sure that I put it through the fire. So I worked with editor after editor and several beta readers, and I was constantly trying to get to the heart of what I was trying to say. I wanted to achieve something, and until I felt like I'd achieved it in that 7th draft, I couldn't let it go. It was so important to me to make it important and meaningful. And I was so happy when you opened the show today talking about how it's something that's so important, because that was my goal, in addition to it being really entertaining and really fast-paced and really fun to read, and a book that some people say reads itself because it pulls you through. I wanted it to leave you feeling like you experienced something important. One of my goals when I set out to write the book was that my husband complete this song, because it was with him for many, many years, and he had a lot of his own personal demons to face, to overcome, to write it. And my goal was that he'd be able to finish the song. And we finished the book and the song together.
Every time I think of you, I'm missing you so much. Bird of paradise, you flew away too soon. I see you in my dreams, I feel you in my room. Come to me, love me again, my angel. So sweet, songs you used to sing. I feel the breeze across my face, it's like you're touching me. I know that you are here, holding my hand, sunshine in my day, you chase my fear away.
And you can download Bird of Paradise on Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon, anywhere music is streamed, and you should really give it a listen. It like when you talk about the prose being the music you can hear as you read the book, when you hear the song, which will be a part of the score of the movie, which will be an original song for the movie, you'll really be able to experience it in a new way.
And as an author, it's a process to get your book recognized. And like I said earlier in the show, you were able to receive awards and recognition. I mean, how much does that mean to you as an author and a writer to have your work not just be out there, but it's being recognized by some very prestigious platforms?
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. It means the world to me. I think the greatest honor, one of the biggest honors, has been that I was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize, which it's a lifelong goal for me to win that. And I say to myself, if not this time, then the next. But I didn't even know how that happened. And so when I received the message that it had happened, I couldn't believe it, because this time a year ago, I didn't know what I was going to do. I hadn't published the book yet. I hadn't put it out there. In January of 2021, last year, so a little over a year ago, I had sent the book out to Berkeley, which is an imprint of Randall House, I think. And I just got a reply from them today, a year and 6 weeks later, that I wasn't a fit for them. And I thought, my God, thank goodness I didn't wait around for them, because it is so hard to be seen. And even with the recognition that I've got, that I'm so grateful for, I've only put a small dent in my efforts for the book to be seen around the world. But one of the exciting things is that because I've taken matters into my hands, which is a matter of confidence and faith and belief in the work, that what I spent so much effort on. I'm having the book translated into Spanish, and it's going to be available in South America and Mexico and Panama. And I've been invited to speak at the U.S. Embassy at the International Book Fair in Panama. And it's just so exciting what can continue to happen if you keep putting yourself out there and keep making the effort and keep believing that any more that can happen is a benefit, because it can be challenging at this stage of the game, where you work so hard and you've made something so close to your heart and you put it out there for the world to see, and to have to go through that building an audience period. It's hard. And so I'm really grateful for shows like yours, Shemaiah, where I get to come on and talk about my purpose as an author and introduce people to the purpose of characters in the story, which is so important for them to live out their life purpose. And it's just an honor to be here.
You listen on Refocus Radio, talking to our guest, Michelle Rene DeBellis. You can go to her website, michellerenedebellis.com. And yeah, speaking of characters, I mean, you have characters in the book. You have Kitty Halliday. And tell us a little bit about her role and how she kind of contributes to this novel.
Well, I'm glad you started with Kitty, because don't tell Santiago, but she's my absolute favorite. I kind of think of her like a modern day Scarlett O'Hara. She's ambitious and she's eager and she has these intense goals and she's not going to let anything stand in her way. She has this incredible passion for music, but she also has her own demons, like we all do. She's a very flawed character who most people, they have something to say about the way that she behaves in this story. And it's not always something good, but that's what makes it exciting. I love that she's the kind of character that can say just about anything, and does. She's the kind of character who you can't really get enough of, because she's so sexy and seductive and also so broken and real. She's such a vulnerable person.
And when people get into the characters of the book, sometimes it's like watching a movie, sometimes, like, especially the way the chapters flow. Mm-hmm. Were you trying to visualize almost like a movie as you were writing as well, or did it just kind of fall in place that way?
My contract with this project is that it's going to be a movie. I always wrote it with the idea of it being a movie, and everyone that has read it has said to me, Michelle, this has to be a movie. And I said, that's coming. That's all in the works. It's all coming. But it's absolutely supposed to feel that in the moment, visceral response that you feel when you watch a movie. And that was the way that I wrote it. So yes, you're absolutely right.
When you look at how many people this has sparked, conversation, I mean, the reviews speak for themselves. And if people go on Amazon, they can see some of the reviews there. But I mean, it's almost like when you share your part of your story to the whole world, it's like that one person is like, man, I'm glad you did that because I can relate to that. So how important was it for you to not just share what you had to offer to the readers out there, but do it in such a way where it was inspired by real life?
Well, it was a very vulnerable thing to do, to include so much of my real life experience. But to me, it was so important because that's what gives it that depth, that authentic feeling, that feeling like, oh, I can feel this. I can feel these emotions. I can experience these emotions, because that's what I want when I read something. And all of the things that I experienced with my own opiate addiction and my own ability to overcome that, and seeing my husband go from having this song that he spent years with not being able to finish, going to putting the song out there and also being nominated for a Pulitzer Prize in the music category. It's just been incredible, because on the one hand, here I am as an author trying to find my purpose, which is to write a book and to share my stories, but also doing so through characters who are trying to find their purpose, and who I'm trying to show you. It's not a self-help book. It's a novel. It's a very entertaining novel, but it's the kind of story that lets you look at your life and go, oh, okay. It's so important to overcome our own pain, because we all have our own pain, but to overcome our pain and to live out our dreams, and to use the storyline as a means of saying, I can do that too.
And fear is something that is also explored in the book. Mm-hmm. And if we're not careful, fear can keep us from living, mm-hmm. at our fullest potential. So with that part of fear in the book, how do you try to capture the reader's attention to that issue? Because, like I said, it can literally keep you from living your best life.
There's a line in the book where Santiago says, the thing about fear is that when you give into it, it manifests itself. And with that line, I help you understand the whole reason why things went the way they did between him and his father. And you sort of realize, okay, it's in this part of the story, it's this cautionary tale of, you have this incredible fear, and then exactly what you're afraid of comes true. And in other parts of the story, you see that the characters let go of their fear, they reach beyond their fear, and they make the things they wanted to have happen. And if people can read the book and interpret that and experience that, then I have done everything I hope to do.
And the music we make is all about overcoming, right? That fear, yes, and that pain. And for someone who is listening, to listen to you, talk about your book, but going back personally to you as an individual, I mean, you're living your life. You're an author, you're a writer. You have your book published and it's getting reviews. You actually are almost in present time doing exactly what the book is attempting to do. The music we make, you're making music now.
Yes, so, I love that you put it that way.
So you're breathing it, you're living it, you're doing it even in the present time.
Absolutely. And it's funny because so much of this story, as I was writing it, the experiences of the book were happening to me. They kept playing out in my real life, and, experiences of my real life kept playing out in the book. And it was this wonderful exchange that it was so magical to be a part of. And there it was music, that interplay between making fiction real and making what was real fiction. And I just loved it so much. Maybe that's why I spent so much time writing it. I never wanted to leave that process, but it is so true that, like it's happening in this moment. Right now, I'm online with you talking about the book, and it's boistering me up to what is this journey all about? It's about right now, connecting with people, connecting with you, connecting with my audience on Instagram, who I'm, sharing this broadcast with, and just getting the news out there that this book is here, that it has a beautiful and important message, and that I am here doing the next best thing in my journey as an author.
And someone is aspiring to get their book published one day, since you've been through the process of that and you know what it takes, and I'm sure it probably takes a lot of patience and just maintaining a positive attitude during the process. But what are some, if you have one general advice that you give to someone who wants to publish their book the right way? What I mean by that is like, don't just do it to like go real fast, but do it professionally and take your time. What would you share with our audience as far as what it takes to really put a quality product out there?
I'm glad you put it that way. It is so important to put a quality product out there. And for me, what that meant was putting my work through the fire. And what I mean by that is having feedback and trusting that feedback. And in the process of trusting feedback, like for me, I would put my book out there with editor after editor after editor, and sometimes a couple of editors at a time. And I would say to myself, Michelle, when they give you their criticisms, when they give you their feedback, when they give you their advice, you need to listen to it and you need to learn from it. But you also always need to know in your heart what is right for the story. And that was a challenging balance for me. There was one time at the very end when I was so close to putting the story out there and I was getting ready to send it to a lot of publishing houses, that I was working with Linda Brodowski, and she was really challenging me on the first 10 pages that we were going to be sending out. And I had rewritten the first chapter, several times. And she was asking me to write it one more time. And I, for a moment, I was stomping my foot and acting like a child and saying, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. This is a matter of artistic taste. And I gave myself a couple of days to get over that. And I sat down and I rewrote it. And I'm so incredibly grateful that I did. And that's what I mean when I say you have to keep putting it through the fire. When you put something through the fire, you feel it. It hurts. It's painful. But I always knew that a better version was waiting on the other side of those challenges. And my last editor that I worked with, we had worked together for, it had been, over a year and a half. We've been working together, and we changed so many things and cut out so much excess and just made so many editorial choices. And he said, everything is really great, but there's this one last thing. I need you to go back and fix this one last thing so that this aspect of the novel is as good as the other things you've done. And when I did that, I said, I think it's been achieved. And he read it over and he said, it's been achieved. And I knew that it had, knew that all of those drafts had all added up to what the book was meant to be. And so that's a lot to say, keep trusting the people that you hire. Don't hire someone to give you advice and then blow their advice off, but also contemplate in your heart, is this something I'm supposed to change? Is this an artistic choice? Or is this a matter of growth? And you always have to choose growth.
Once again, talking to Michelle Rene DeBellis. You can go to her website, michellerenedebellis.com. And man, I'm holding the book right now. It's The Music We Make. It's a novel. Definitely want to check this out. Definitely want to read it, especially if you're creative. If you appreciate music, I'm sure you appreciate the novel itself. Before we let you go, I think we covered most bases, but what's next for you? I mean, are you going to be doing more book tours or any events, or what's in the near future for Michelle?
I have I have so many things coming up. I've got an incredible list of podcasts that are coming up that I'm going to be doing, which I think is just such an incredible way to get the word out right now. And I'm having so much fun doing it. I'm working on getting the movie made, and that is just so much fun. When I did the audiobook, it was the most fun I'd had in years. And now getting the movie going is even more fun. So, so that's really the big thing. And other than that, I'm writing another novel, which is going to be incredible. And hopefully I can come back on the show with you and talk about that. And, when the time comes, but just, you can follow me on Instagram at Michelle Rene DeBellis, and all of that stuff will be right there. My little journey as it continues.
Yeah. When the movie comes out, definitely have you back on. I mean, you look like you're an actress yourself, but, I think it's cool being in that creative space, because a lot of times creatives can tend to be looked at as just an abstract person. They just go with their feeling or their gut. Yeah, that's slightly true, but to put something in a package where you get it published, we have to wear different hats. You have to take that abstract mind and kind of sit it out for a little bit so you can kind of get this all organized and polished for the people out there to appreciate.
Yes, that has been one of the hardest things, is wearing all those hats. But I'm so glad I have my husband, and I've got some dear friends that are here working with me that make it all so much more fun. And I'm just trying to make it fun as I do it. That's been the key.
Well, y'all definitely go get the book. It's easy to remember. Just go to her website. It's michellerenedebellis.com. The music we make, it is something that I feel anybody who appreciates art, they should definitely give this a book a good read. I want to say thank you to you, Michelle, taking time in your schedule to talk to I'm Refocused Radio. And anything I'm missing, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, I was just going to say, you can also go to themusicwemake.com. You can find the book there, and that's sometimes just a little easier to type in. And then, of course, you can find me on Amazon and on Instagram at Michelle Rene DeBellis. And it's been a pleasure to talk to you. It's been wonderful. Thank you for making it so much fun.